Hello everybody, welcome back to Penakun, the channel that teaches you how to use a simple tool like a ballpoint pen to express your creativity and do whatever you like to do with it. So in our previous video, we have completed the tutorial on cartoon head. So we started from the eye to the nose to the mouth and also some of the hairstyles here. Okay, so this is the last completed video. Today we are going to move on to the body of a cartoon here. Okay, so let's start off. Now, just as a simple starting point here. Okay, just a simple anatomy of a typical like stickman. Okay, so as an example, let me adjust the angle. Example, we start off with a simple head, which is like. Okay, I'm drawing very lightly here, so I hope you can see. Okay, so let's say we have a circle here. So this is like a simple head here. And from there on, okay, of course, to the back of the head here, we have this represent the neck. Okay, and with the neck, we have like, a line that crosses over to represent the collarbone. Okay, and of course we have the dot here to represent the joint of the arm here, and with that we have the backbone, okay, which is like, well, slightly curved. Okay, so it depending on your posture here, it can be curved forward or backwards here, depends on what you want here. With that, we also have like the hip. Okay, and so this one is right, and we have the hip here. Okay, we are not too focused on the proportion, whether it's how many head here, or we're just trying to draw a typical stickman here. So you can see here, this is the part of the body. Okay, well, so generally you could actually draw a cartoon in simple form, which means that you can draw it as the whole trunk here, with a whole trunk here, as in like you can just simply draw. Okay, this is the head and maybe the neck here. Okay, obviously the neck here up to you. You can actually have a very exaggerated neck, as you can just draw a very thin neck. Okay, or you can just follow the manga style to have like a proper neck here, and from there on, okay, you could have just simply like draw a long trunk here. Okay, obviously the trunk can be rectangular or can be any other shape that you want here. It can be like rectangular, circular, oval, triangular, or whatever. It can be any shape you want here, and following with like a simple leg here. Okay, of course that's the simple form here, and following with a, yeah. Okay, so this is a simple cartoon here, right? So we could have like something like this, or we could have, maybe in the case of a female, okay, and maybe again a simple triangle to represent the upper trunk, followed by, okay, and of course following by a, and then of course we have this one. Okay, right. I'm not too focused on the arms and the legs here. It's just I'm trying to show the stick here. We will actually move on more a bit on the details of the arms and legs here in the future video. So now we are more focused on the trunk here. Okay, so of course again, as I say here, it can be like a rectangular or a triangle, or if you want to be rounded, it can be rounded as well. Okay, but that would be much too boring. So we could also extend into other shapes here, just like, okay, let's say we have like, okay, let's show the side view here, and maybe that we have this one here. We could show like okay, let's draw the line of action. Okay, this is another thing that I will talk about later. So, and we could also like maybe like draw the whole trunk here, okay, which maybe ends here and a bit of exaggerated here. Okay, so the shape of the trunk will be something like this, and we could then expand it into like, okay, with the arms here, and yeah, so show this. Okay, or this one. Okay, and of course, then this will be the leg part. Showing that it is like standing. Okay, right. So you can see it's not really a simple shape, but it's still a one piece shape here. A bit about your line of action here, because whenever we stand, okay, you realize that usually the tendency is that we will tend to balance ourselves here. So it depends on the posture that you have here. Okay, more about so-called different posture in the future video. But as a simple rule here, usually we want to decide how the human will balance itself. So it's like, okay, because you can see here, he's not really standing straight. He's actually tilting to one side. So you can see, so as he tilt a bit backwards, so you tend to like, okay, at least the whole action is that, okay, there will be some form of like support here. So realize that you'll be more tilted towards this side here. Okay, right. So for example, okay, again, let's have like, okay, and when we have like this lady is, I think it's lady, right? She is actually leaning a bit backwards here. So as she leans backwards here, and maybe we're going to show like a triangular. Okay, this is like a triangle here. Okay, so as she's leaning backwards here, then usually the tendency is that there must be some form of like center point here, the center support. Okay, so generally the tendency is that, okay, you can see here the leg will actually tend towards the middle to support her. Okay, right, or else you can see in this case, since she's not really very fully supported, then of course her hand will need some form of like a support. Okay, so that she doesn't fall down. Right, so that she doesn't fall down here. So again, this is also another simple form of body structure. Okay, or we could have again a very like fat. Yeah, let's draw a fat one without a neck here, and from there on, okay, this will be like, yeah, okay, a fat body. Okay, of course, then we have like a fat body here, and from there on, because she's standing straight here, so of course we could actually just have a bit of yeah, support in the middle here, right? And of course there are other so-called other shapes which is in one piece here. Okay, so there's one kind of like drawing here. Of course, as you progress on, you realize that this kind of drawing is again, it's just a simple cartoon, yeah, simple drawing. So maybe sometimes if you want to develop a bit more on your character, okay, you could actually combine by splitting the trunk into the upper part and the lower part here. Okay, so that you can have more shapes to your cartoon here. Okay, so take for example, we have a head. Okay, let's draw. We could have a round head here with the so-called going to the left here, and we could have a jaws. Okay, so this, which is like, right, so this is jaws here, and with a very rough neck. Okay, then we could actually say that he is tilting. Okay, so it's in the middle, so he is tilting. Yeah, So we could have a very big right, very big and bulky body, upper body, okay, with okay, and maybe like his hip here. So from there on, you can see now from there on, then we'll need a support here around here because he's tilting to this side here. So support will be here. So we'll make this okay, right. So that okay. So he's tilting here, and of course, the other leg could be standing. And with his arms here, okay, let's make big arms. Right, okay, so then we have a more interesting character for development for this by splitting the trunk into the upper and the lower one. Okay. Of course, there are other shapes that we can go through, just like, for example, again, we have a side view here. Let's have a small head, yeah, with a very big, okay, maybe, yeah. So he's looking up, okay. From there on, he's again leaning slightly forward, right? So from there, we could have like a okay, right, and maybe a round bottom. Okay, if from there on, one leg must be supported, so it's here. So here's one leg. Okay, so his front leg is supported here, and his back leg can be okay. Right. Of course, then we can move on to develop his hand. Okay, maybe it's the other hand. And of course, we could have like a lady. Okay, so lady, right? If he's trying to, okay, and maybe a triangular upper body, and add in a bit of details. Okay, a slim trunk with okay, and then yeah, we might just make it a right. So there are other, of course, more interesting shapes which you can explore here. Okay, so it's like we could have, if you want, just a simple long one, just like maybe. This is the head. Yep, like with, and of course with a very okay, and from there on we will actually okay, and that of course will also be a simple character with just a thin rod. Okay, yeah, very skinny. Okay, then you can add in more details to make it more interesting here, right? So this is just a preliminary exploration of the body and some body structure here. Okay, in the later part of the video, we will of course try to create more interesting pose, okay, by altering the body structure. So now we have completed the head and also the body here. Next up, we are going to move on to exploring some of the hand and also the leg. And from then, we will start to move on to a bit more interesting pose here. Right? I hope you enjoy my video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again. Bye.